Laying claim to being Australia's oldest and most mountainous stage race, the Jayco Herald Sun Tour also boasts an honour roll that includes the likes of Simon Gerrans, Bradley Wiggins and Chris Froome. This year we've got 4 World Tour teams mixing it with some informed continental squads over 5 stages, the first of which starts from the Mitchelton Winery in Nagambie and takes in 121.9 flat kilometres to Shepparton. Not much to dissuade the sprinters from taking an early shot at the overall lead, but the exposed nature of these country roads could lead to some potential crosswinds if they blow strong enough. With the first intermediate sprint positioned just 9.5 kilometres into the stage, it was no surprise that the race was still all together when we got there. Roy Efting of Sapura Cycling taking the bonuses from Nick White and Craig Wiggins, who's no relation by the way. The fight to be in the main breakaway of the day was just beginning at this point, and while a few World Tour jerseys were up there in the mix, it was initially 2 groups of 2 that came together at the front. They being Conor Murta of Oliver's Real Food Racing, Ben Hill of Team Bridgelane, Charles-Etienne Chrétien of Evolo, and Ryan Thomas of ARA Sunshine Coast. The bunch were more than happy to fan out and chill out, at least for the time being. Everyone that is except for Jesse Coyle of Nero Continental, missing the initial jump but chasing solo for quite some time to bridge the leaders. And it's hard to tell if he thought the reward was worth the effort at this point, to be honest. Back at the peloton, the big names were happy to set the early tempo, and with a fairly swift pace taking them quicker than the expected time schedule set by the organisers, no more than 3 minutes or so was afforded to this motivated quintet. Mitchelton Scott had committed Sam Bewley to the head of the peloton with about 30 kilometres to go, and this was the point at which that competitive lead began to dwindle. Still some bonuses on offer at the second intermediate sprint though, and another hotly contested one saw Ben Hill take the time bonuses. The 29-year-old Australian was in a bullish mood today, continuing his effort through the line and not content to sit up just yet. Well, the prospect of yet another chase was just too much for Coyle, the first of the break to succumb to the pace as Murta pressed on to rejoin the head of affairs. With the peloton in sight now, there weren't that many more places to run, but that didn't stop this last-ditch attack from the young Canadian Chrétien, and this actually reinvigorated Hill into charging on again, no doubt who would go to the podium as the most combative rider at the end of the day. Well, with just over 5 kilometres to go, and we were finally all together for the anticipated bunch sprint. The team of the fast men, as always, fighting for position, this time for a tight final corner inside the final 500 metres. Alberto Dainese of Sunweb, Moreno Hoffland of EF Pro Cycling, and Caden Groves of Mitchelton Scott among the big contenders. And as you could see, their teams were well represented towards the front to do all they could to deliver the win. There is that right-hander in the distance, everybody strung out to get it around in one piece and making it through in perfect position with the aforementioned trio, and it was the young Italian Dainese who got his nose in front to take his first win of the season. The slow-mo shows him getting into an almost Ewan-esque sprinting position to get the better of his former SEG Racing teammate Caden Groves, both who look like superb prospects making their way at World Tour level this year. Look down the top 10 sees Hoffland round out the podium in third, Mikael Ryman fourth for Israel Startup Nation, with another youngster, Godfrey Slattery, grabbing fifth for the Australian national team. Nice little bonus of the overall leader's jersey for Dainese, but with the summit finishes starting as early as tomorrow, it could be a fairly brief stint in yellow for him. Time bonuses in play, so that's 10, 6 and 4 seconds offered to the first 3 riders to cross the line, with the riders up there in the intermediate sprints earlier in the day nudging themselves up the overall ranks too. Please do join us for stage 2 tomorrow, and don't forget you can watch all the stages live here on GCN Racing, including the Women's Herald Sun Tour 2, with highlights as well in English and Spanish every day if you just want to catch up.